It's day 316 of Zohar Pshat, and we have the Zohar, which we think is really good. It's on Hezron Daf Nun Vav on the base. It's a new paragraph on page Lamed Hey with base. But Tzav Hashem Elokim. Tzav Hashem Elokim. So these is the Zohar says this alludes to Shem Mitzvahs Bnei Noach. This pasuk. Hatninon, we learned, and this is in the Sanhedrin, as I said. Leit Tzav El Avodah Zarah. We don't go into how each word means each thing, but Tzav, command. Obviously, if you listen to the commands of Kodesh Baruch Hu, you're not going to be every Avodah Zarah. Hashem, right? Tzav Hashem, so because Hashem, obviously, you accept the Kodesh Baruch Hu, so in His name as being Shem Havaya, then you're not going to curse the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Elokim really can be read as Elohim, Elo Dayanim, right? Kashva Bais Elohim. That's in Parshat Mishpatim. Al Ha'adam, on man. Let's have Hashem Al Ha'adam, on man, meaning that Adam is a human being with Tam Elokim. So of course, Zu Shvichos Damim, shouldn't spill his blood in that murder. Lemor, to say. So Zu Gili Arayas. So we know that the Lemor comes to include other things which are not mentioned explicitly. So that's Gili Arayas, not to, but could be also alludes to, Tar B'Sicha Maisha. So don't get too close to women who are forbidden to you. Mikol Eitzagan V'lo Gezel. Eat from the fruit from the trees of the gan, which are permitted to you because you're put here in charge of them. Not gezel, not theft. Achol tochel, this you should eat the vegetation. Not forbidden foods, which for other mission was aver min achai, a limb from a live animal. Shapir works out well. So again, this derivations I just made up on the spot. I think more Sanhedrin, of course, either more itself, and unfortunately give other more elaborate derivations. But the point is that Adam was given mitzvahs, not just of the L'Shamra. It was just not just to work with the gan. No, it was given the mitzvahs. The basic mitzvahs of Shem Mitzvah Noach already given to Adam Rishon. They're more explicit of Bnei Noach, but they're already given to Adam Rishon, and he has rules for a proper society. So evidently. The chait was already in the cards. There's no society if there's only Adam and Chava, but there's knowledge and there's nothing outside the gan, unless Adam and Chava are going to get kicked out, and there's no Ever Min Achai, because at this point, really, Adam was not allowed to eat any animals. So the question is allowed to eat roadkill, but not from animals themselves. But so therefore, all these mitzvahs, it's already in the Bria, there was a foreknowledge, which of course Baruch Hu had. Of course, he had the foreknowledge. There's a planning. Of course, there was man's sin was part of the Bria. So therefore, even before the sin, because Baruch Hu's Maktiv Full Maka and their Shem Mitzvahs are built into the system for the post-sin society. The Shayle Kula Lechlinu B'Yechuda. Now, he allowed all of them to eat. Yehuda, I think here means with one exception. But I don't know, maybe the Sulam has a different Pshat. Interesting Pshat, a very fascinating Pshat. He says, from all Eitz HaGan HaChol teaches us that he is allowed to eat from all the trees that even when HaDa'as. But he has to eat it b'yichud, meaning b'yachad. He has to eat it together with the other trees, not by itself. And the way he learns the next line, which is not the way I would learn it, says, Avram, Achav, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Cholim, Achel, B'chayu. They all ate from the Eitz HaDa'as, and they lived. But I don't think that that's the Pshat. I think that the Pshat is that he was told to eat, he could eat everything except for one tree, except for the Shaila Lechlinu, B'Yechuda, with one exception. And the exception is Eitz HaDa'as. And Eitz HaChayim, had he not eaten from Eitz HaDa'as, he would be allowed to eat. And everybody ate from it. Because Eitz HaChayim is Chiyus. Chiyus is Torah. Eitz HaChayim Machzigim Ba. So all the great Gedolim of the generations ate from the Eitz HaChayim, and it was no problem. They didn't get to live forever, because others made some Eitz HaDa'as. So that was it. and they only had Adam eating from the Eitz HaChayim, maybe after Eitz HaDa'as, maybe it would have worked, but once that didn't happen, so it never works again. But I think that's the Pshat. Again, Kusulu might be correct, I might be wrong. Probably I'm wrong. But I think that Avram Achal, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Chalavim, Achal B'chayu. They eat from the Eitz HaChayim. Avilon Adah, but this tree, the Eitz HaDa'as, Ilon the Maisu. That's the tree of death. Eitz HaDa'as Tov Ra Lo Socham B'menu. But the Eitz HaDa'as Tov Ra, that you shouldn't eat from it. Man Delotele B'chudoi. He who takes from itself mais. The Sama the Moisa Notil, because it's taking Sama the Moisa. So that sounds like the Sulam. That it means that that the other greats ate from the Eitz HaDa'as with together the Eitz HaChayim, and therefore they survived, but not Adam. But again, it could be like I'm saying that that they had one exception. That's the Eitz HaDa'as, and the Eitz HaChayim could eat from. Everybody else ate from the Eitz HaChayim, and but from the Eitz HaDa'as, still you can't eat. But if you ate it with the other ones, it would be okay. Maybe it works out that way. Not sure, but in any event. Because you separated the plantings. In other words, you separated the Eitz HaDa'as Tov Ra from Eitz HaChayim. So I think there's a Pshat here. Pshat is that there's no Pshat. I think the allegory is clear that if you eat from the Eitz HaChayim and the Eitz HaDa'as, meaning that you have Torah, then Torah helps you deal with Tov and Ra. If you don't have Torah, then you can't deal with Tov and Ra, which is Mavis. So Adam Rishon, he didn't eat for Eitz HaChayim. He didn't have in Gan Eden the access to Torah the way he's supposed to have it, which would have come from the tree itself, because at that point knowledge did grow on trees, and therefore he couldn't deal with the Eitz HaDa'as. But later, and even Rishon probably later in life, once he couldn't rectify the death penalty, but he was able, I'm sure, to rectify his own life and live as a tzaddik, because Rishon was a tzaddik. But in any event, the idea of there was the first eating mamish from the tree, not symbolically, that you need Eitz HaChayim to fix Eitz HaDa'as, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said no, but Eitz HaChayim has come first. And once Adam eats from the Eitz HaDa'as before the Eitz HaChayim, it's not going to work anymore. Because the Torah Magno Matzla, the Torah protects a person, but that's not the same impact afterwards. You can't do the same thing. Once the treachery enters the person, it's a rear guard action. It's not going to have the same effect. So whether you say that Avram, etc., Yitzchak and Yaakov and Nevi'im all ate like I said, from the Eitz HaChayim, and therefore we see Eitz HaChayim doesn't kill, or like the Sulam says, which again is probably correct, I'm probably wrong, that they ate from the Eitz HaDa'as, but after they became who they were able to deal with Ra properly, so therefore it didn't have the same impact upon them. Okay, that's a fascinating Zohar. It requires a lot more analysis, but it's a pretty interesting idea.